I'm Dr. Lindsay Bolander. I'm an alum from Butler University in Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm a second-year fellow, and my focus and discipline is at Sanofi in health policy and strategic advocacy. As Eric alluded to, I'm going to give you a little bit more of a synopsis of the program history based on what you saw from the video, a little bit about our growth, and then the impact that we can create as pharmacists entering a non-traditional role. The program history, we were established in 1984, as Dr. Brown and some of my colleagues in the video spoke to. At this point in time, we have grown by leaps and bounds over that 25-year mark to partner with 14 different pharma companies in the New York, New Jersey area. And we also are a model of both industry and academic collaboration, which you don't see amongst all fellowships or all other industry components that might offer fellowships as well. So that's something that you very much want to keep in mind, as Dr. Erica Hozek has spoke about and Dr. Brown as well. So over the last 25 years, we've also had a tremendous growth in our network and a alumni capacity. When we first started the program in 1984, Dr. Barone did, it was a pilot of 2 fellows. And from that, each year, the program has grown a little bit to an exponential amount. And as you can see, the networking just continues to get bigger and bigger. So it's been a very wonderful cumulative growth, excuse me. And in that 25 years, this is a slide that we wanted to show and share with you that we're very proud, as you can see. We have a very rich history, but also from these pictures, you can see that not only do we have the networking and we have a professional development, but we have a personal development well, and we also pride ourselves in being somewhat of what we call a family, that we go to fellowship outings, we support each other when we are getting engaged or marriage or birthdays. We just had a fellow that had a baby, and all those things are very important. We're here for a professional purpose, but we're also here for a personal purpose as well. And this is something that we were very proud last year to be able to celebrate that. This was an event held here in New Jersey, and it brought back all of the past fellows. Anybody who wanted to come, they could bring their spouses. And we had an opportunity to meet those 2 fellows that started the program and those fellows in the first years. And then we were able to discuss and see how things have changed and how things are different and make very wonderful relationships from that. So what's the outcome of the RPIF program? We have over 600 alumni now. These alumni are spanned around the world in about 100 different companies or so. We have a very large national reach and also that international touch. And they range in areas all the way from the pharmaceutical and biopharmaceutical industry, obviously, but they also specialize in agencies, medical communication companies, government agencies like the FDA, the NIH, the CDC, the government agencies, and then also advertising agencies, perhaps if you were a marketing fellow. The program has also greatly expanded pharmacist roles in industry in that we are on a trajectory through pharmacy school that we're very focused heavily in clinical. You may go to a residency, you may go into retail, but there's also those other paths, as we've alluded to already, for drug development, for marketing, for things that are a little bit different, that you can apply those skills and benefit the patient ultimately by what our clinical knowledge is. So the program also meets unmet needs. I'm sure that some of you that did your 4-year degree and might have went out to the workforce for a while, or some of you who are just going through college for the first time and ending with a pharmacy degree, you've talked to people who've gone out to the workforce, they've applied for a job, and they don't get it. And the reason why they don't get it is because the employer or the HR department says, you're really great, but you don't have the experience. And then you think, well, how am I supposed to get the experience if nobody will let me? And that's the purpose of the foundation of this program. Why it was originally founded was because it's an opportunity to bridge that gap, to allow those folks who are seeking a different type of career path to have the experience they need to go to an employer and say, I've had some developmental training. I have that experience. Please give me the job. So it's meeting the needs of both parties. And ultimately, you're all sitting out here today sort of in the same area I'm sure that I was 2 years ago, wondering what in the world my life's going to look like 6 months from now when I walk across that stage for graduation. And I really had no idea. And then I started to question, and I found the industries where I wanted to go. And then when I discovered RPIF, I asked myself why. And the reason why that I can allude to now that I've been in the program for about 15 or 16th month is our mantra. And the mantra is foster. It's sort of the bread and butter of what we live by day to day. The F for family of leading companies. We have 14 companies now. The sky's the limit. There's more that are constantly developing. We see mergers all the time. We might get bigger, which is wonderful, and that's even more availability to expand our reaches. It's an outstanding alumni track, 600 fellows, and every year we keep producing between 70 and 80 fellows. It's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think Mark was the one that said on the video that pharmacy is a small world, but pharmaceutical industry is even smaller. So to be a component at that proportion is really wonderful. A strong network of fellows and alumni. We're also a family. Trusted and proven since 1984, 25 years in the making. I think that speaks to itself. It's an enhanced career development opportunity, not only from a professional component, but a personal development as well that's very important in your career path. And then finally, as we've talked about many times, the rigorous academic component. So I thank you for the time. I hope in the last few minutes I've given you a little bit deeper of a snapshot, and I'm happy to discuss further with you during the network if you have any more questions regarding the program, the history, and any other insights you'd like for a non-traditional career path.